Before we get on with our regularly scheduled programming, this is baby girl. And
also known as Voodoo.
Yeah, this is Voodoo. And she actually has been doing a lot better today. She can walk. She is adjusting to being able, I don't know, her head may be permanently cocked to the side. I don't know. I don't know that we needed to see that. Yeah. So I was hoping that she would walk for you. Because it's interesting. She can walk. Look, there she goes. She's been able to use the litter box by herself. She's been able to find food bowl.
She about fell there.
She's been able to find food bowl, water bowl. Yeah. That's so much better than it was. So, just prayers for the little one. Yeah.
Prayers, please.
Absolutely. That little head cocked to the side. I hope that's not permanent, but if it is, that's okay. Because we will take care of her.
Yeah. Still worrying.
Oh, yeah. Still need the prayers. Yeah, vestibular syndrome. That's not a good thing to happen to anybody. That little face.
Come here, honey.
For today's cup of coffee, the official cup of coffee, he did get a rock. It's not even Halloween yet, but he did get a rock. We're already preparing. There are pumpkin signs out in the stores already.
Yes.
So, and actually have been since late June. Which is, I'm all about the Halloweens. I'm all about the autumn, but everything in its own season.
There's already Christmas stuff out.
Now that is just greed.
There's Christmas stuff out.
Has nothing to do with the season or the meaning behind the season or anything, and it's just this bastardization of what once was.
Christmas in July. There was also like Christmas stuff out in like, for example, Goodwill and Salvation Army.
But they
for the Christmas in July.
But they won't let any kind of Halloween or any kind of autumn thing be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyhow. But
fuck your Christmas.
That views and opinions do not necessarily reflect, you know,
I'm not actually bashing Christmas itself. I'm bashing capitalist Christmas.
It's not even
greedy Christmas.
That's corporate
shopping, corporate Christmas.
It has nothing to do with capitalism. It has to do with, like I said, corporate greed.
Capitalism
is a hell of a lot better than communism, son.
I know.
So anyhow,
why can't there be like another option, like other than communism or capitalism?
I think it's people doing their own things and it leaving everybody else alone. But because humans are the way they are, that's not going to happen. Because we are broken beings living in a broken world. So that's it. That's the roundabout. But anyhow, hope that you all enjoyed the little snippet of seeing Voodoo, and that she is in the healing process. And yes, we have things because we've been so busy that are in the middle of the living room floor, which don't belong in the middle of the living room floor.
No, but they're there for the time being until we find a place for them.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that chaos. And so our house right now is an external reflection of the internal chaos. Speaking of chaos, we have a Bigfoot. We have a Bigfoot. We have a Sasquatch replica.
The Squatch. Yes.
And it actually does have to do, in part with today's subject matter.
What do you mean in part, not in full?
No, not in full. But we have, as far as the stupid, it burns, and Celissa, honey, that will be the next cup that I will get you to design for me.
The stupid, it burns!
And this one is recent.
We love it.
And then it just sent me down a rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. So this is why we've got the Squatch. This comes from, I've got a lot of references. The references will be in the description box, the links and stuff, so you can go and look and see what all is going on there.
Yeah.
And this was July 12th of 2022, and this was reported by WAFB 9. Murder suspect claims victim summoned Bigfoot to kill him.
What? First of all, what the fuck is WAF?
Those are call letters.
Okay.
This is a television station.
Okay.
Radio stations and television stations have call letters. Do you really want? I'll call your father and he and I will get into this discussion about this.
That was just a radio thing. I didn't know that was a television bullshit.
No, it's both. And these are, as far as FCC registered call letters that are specific to each and every station. They're supposed to be given at the top of each hour. Used to be. I don't know if the laws have changed.
I've never heard that on TV before.
It's because we watch cable. That's different than like local TV and stuff.
Okay.
You're totally derailing me, and we haven't even got into the first sentence. You didn't take your medication, did you?
Not today.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I've been tired.
Anyhow, from Ada, Oklahoma, an Oklahoma man is facing a murder charge after he allegedly killed his friend. Deputies said he claimed the victim had summoned Bigfoot to go after and kill him.
The fuck?
In the Pontotoc, I think that's right, it's close enough for jazz, County Sheriff's Department responded to a call about an alleged killing Saturday afternoon just outside the city limits of Ada, Oklahoma. Deputies arrived at the scene to 53-year-old suspect Larry Sanders admitting to a family member that he had killed his friend Jimmy Knighton. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation said in a press release that Sanders and Knighton had been noodling or hand fishing. That's where you try to get like the catfish.
Yeah, I know what
out from under
I've
the
never done it, but that's a stupid.
That's a scary thing.
That
It
is
is
stupid.
I hope they don't have water moccasins out there. Anyhow,
They catch those too.
Oh God. Anyhow,
you will not believe the amount of.
Anyhow, it says that they were doing the hand fishing in a river when a confrontation ensued. Sanders allegedly struck and strangled Knighton. As part of the investigation, the Sheriff's Department was able to uncover a motive. Sheriff John Christian stated, quote, appeared to be under the influence of something. No shit.
Yeah.
So his statement was that Mr. Knighton had summoned Bigfoot to come and kill him, and that's why he had to kill Mr. Knighton.
Bullshit.
End quote. Search agencies and the Sheriff's Department weren't able to locate the victim's body until Sunday afternoon. Investigators are now working to uncover proof of the alleged crime. Christian further stated, quote, it always makes it easier. You still have to prove all the elements of the crime and what the suspect is telling you. You have to prove that that's actually what happened, end quote. Sanders is charged with first-degree murder. The sheriff says the death penalty is the harshest punishment the prosecution could push for in this case.
Okay.
So, this leads us on down the rabbit hole.
I blame Bigfoot.
Some of these. He wasn't blaming Bigfoot.
You can't summon him to kill.
That's what I was going to say. He wasn't blaming him. He was blaming the dude that he killed for, calling down Bigfoot, on him.
You can't control a Bigfoot.
Apparently, this man couldn't control any aspect of his life, or he wouldn't be in prison now or jail. You know he's going to go to prison. That is not. Now, can you imagine being the attorney that has to represent him?
I would just give up. Be like, fuck it. You are representing yourself on this.
Well, that's not it.
You are representing yourself. You evil.
This led me down a rabbit hole of other stupid excuses for crimes. Now, this is just hitting the high points.
Have you ever watched those Dumbest Criminal compilations?
I try not to.
You need to watch
It's like
them.
the TikTok. It makes me lose faith in humanity.
You need to watch them.
Oh, God, no. Anyhow.
They hurt to watch, but they're funny.
There's just a few of them, like I said, we're going to hit. And this comes from a website called Cracked. And you can take that two ways. And this is
we're a little cracked.
By Tracy V, and it was April 14th, 2012. The 6 most hilariously stupid criminal excuses of all time. The ones I liked, leprechaun stole his pants. And it says a Cincinnati man walked out to his car one morning and was surprised to find a guy asleep inside without any pants on.
What?
The half-naked sleeper turned out to be Kim LeBlanc, who told police that he had done drugs and was pretty sure a leprechaun had opened the car door and let him in. He offered no explanation as to why a leprechaun would have told him to wait inside a stranger's automobile or where the aforementioned leprechaun had gone with his pants.
What?
It's not hard. It's not that often that, leprechauns get blamed for things here in America.
Isn't that some Irish bullshit?
I don't know that I'd call it bullshit, but that's usually the origin of the leprechaun legends and cryptids and all that stuff.
Irish people love Irish shit.
But we also have a high Irish population. You had a lot of people that immigrated to America from Ireland, so...
Irish people love Irish shit. They are very all up in their own culture. They really are.
Well, that's okay. There's nothing wrong.
I love it.
There's nothing wrong with being proud of your country and your heritage. Nothing at all.
It gets a little bit stereotypical, but it's funny. It's funny.
Views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of the management.
Top of the morning, tell you about Lucky Charms.
Then we have.
What?
But I'm a werewolf. What?
But I'm a werewolf.
Yes.
That video clip, in all levels of physical, I am a wolf. Woo! Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't.
Oh, God.
It had been a quiet night at the Timber Ridge campground in northern Ohio until Thomas Stroup hit the vodka a little too hard. Someone called the police complaining that Stroup was in a drunken frenzy and was starting fights with people. He had even kicked a dog cage in his fury. Deputies found Stroup passed out in his trailer surrounded by swords and knives, which, along with throwing stars and a magnetic dartboard, are required to be placed in every odd-numbered unit in the trailer park. I'm hoping that that's just being silly. When they woke him up, Stroup only growled at them. Once he started finally talking, he spoke in a Russian accent and threatened to kill the deputy's cousin, Keith. Only the deputy didn't have a cousin named Keith, so instead of being flushed with terror, the threat just left everyone feeling confused. After being unsuccessful in his attempt to intimidate the deputy, Stroup explained that a wolf had scratched him during a recent trip to Germany, so now whenever the moon was out, he felt compelled to prowl through the night and attack and eventually kill guys named Keith. Stroup also mentioned that he'd been arrested by German police during his trip for drinking too much and blacking out in public. His passport indicated that he had, in fact, been arrested in Germany, but the police wisely connected the dots and determined that, rather than getting scratched by a wolf and turning into a feral demon, Stroup had just drunk too much and turned into an asshole. That was how the story was written, but I thought that was pretty accurate.
I love that. That's straightforward.
There's a shirt that says instant asshole, just add alcohol. There's some of them that don't even need to have the alcohol added. Another story comes from a website called lolwot. W-O-T. And this will probably be the only time anybody will ever hear of this website, but I'm going to provide the link and you can go and search that. And this one is, I'm the incarnation of Mahatma Gandhi.
What?
And some people do
What?
weird things as explanations for their crimes. However, Raj Balabhat takes the cake for the most religiously unaware one. When he was convicted of attempted murder in 2003, the man stated that he was suffering from a delusion disorder that led him to believe that he was the true incarnation of Mahatma Gandhi. We don't know how Gandhi would ever hurt a fly, but Raj did try to kill a man. Thus, he was sentenced for a fine and as much as 7 years in prison.
Now, there was this woman that I saw on TikTok that she thought that this one actor, she had said that this was during psychosis. She thought this actor was like her father or whatever, and they got abducted or something like that, or she got abducted or whatever. It's a long story.
Okay. It's interesting that some of these people, they always think that they're either Jesus or Napoleon or Cleopatra or something like that. I think it's interesting. Will the next incarnation of some of these psychoses and stuff include Kim Kardashian?
She also thought that she had some like superpowers, like she was. What was the name of the black one with the white hair that had the
Storm?
Yeah, Storm. But I like Storm.
I like her too.
But she thought like she had powers like Storm.
So that she could summon the rain clouds and
the
lightning bolts and stuff.
Yeah. And thought that she was powering her whole entire city too, and that people
Let's sit there and prove it.
Yeah. Prove it. This was during psychosis, and she admitted that it was during psychosis. She was telling.
They need to sort of put her someplace when she feels one of those things coming on. Okay, then our last one, as far as stories, comes from a website called Oxygen True Crime, and was by Gina Tron, January 21st, 2022. So this one's recent. And this is teen accused of trying to kill Jogger so he could keep his body to play with. It says a Florida teenager, and this is from Orlando news outlets there, is accused of tracking the movements of a man who regularly jogged past his home with the intention of killing him and keeping his corpse in his closet to play with.
I was told in church about this group of kids who had this head that was in a pillowcase, and they were using it to like kick around as a soccer ball.
Well, that's not new, but where was this supposed to have happened?
I don't
locally.
I don't remember. I was a kid in church.
Well, that's not that unusual.
Being taught to this was taught to the whole damn class.
That is not that unusual. It really isn't. It's disturbing, but it was
taught to kids.
Origins of football. Kick the Dane's head. Google search it. Anyhow,
taught to kids. To children's.
I wasn't there. It wasn't Goth Mama imparting that knowledge.
It would be one thing.
Not this time.
It was church.
It wasn't me.
It was church.
Okay.
Religious trauma.
Anyhow, Logan Smith, who was 18, just 18 years old, was arrested and charged with one count of attempted murder in connection with the failed strangling of the victim near Smith's Cocoa home. 1 week before his arrest, Smith had allegedly collected an arsenal of so-called weapons from his home: an aerosol Axe deodorant can, a rubber mallet, and the belt of a robe. He had all that, and then he was lying in wait for the victim. The arrest report states, quote, the defendant walked directly across his street where he hid behind a light pole. He placed the mallet and the Axe aerosol on the ground next to him while he waited for the victim to come running down the street as he did regularly for exercise. The defendant waited for the victim to run past the light pole and proceeded to run after him. The defendant then tossed the cloth robe belt over the victim's head until it was round the front area of the victim's neck, end quote. However, the victim was able to overpower Smith with martial arts.
Good! Good on him!
In a post-attack interview, Smith allegedly told investigators that he had been monitoring the victim's routine for about 6 weeks. He allegedly claimed he had finally decided to kill him after watching the movie Scream.
Blame something.
Investigators say that Smith intended to use the Axe aerosol spray in the jogger's eyes as a way to disable him. The arrest report states, quote, he further planned to place the victim's body in his closet, Smith's closet, where the defendant stated that no one would know and the defendant would have the victim's body all to himself. The defendant stated that he also planned to play with the victim to fulfill his sexual fantasies.
That's
end
disturbing.
quote. Oh yeah, the whole thing is disturbing.
My God.
Now, this is disturbing also. The boyfriend of Smith's mother stated, we just thought it was odd that he wanted to go to the movies by himself. A person like Logan is more of a loner. Well, that makes no sense, that statement right there.
Yeah.
And he said, again, he wouldn't have been the kid you invited to the cool parties, end quote. And we wonder why this kid is screwed up. But now think of this. Somebody watching you for 6 weeks. That's creepy.
That is creepy.
Somebody thinking that they can hide, unless he weighed like 12, there's no way anybody can hide behind a light pole.
No.
I do think it's rather interesting that the dude he targeted was into martial arts. You know this man has kicked the shit out of this kid, and rightfully so.
Absolutely.
And then he'll be 18 years old, he'll go to prison, and he will have his ass kicked daily for many years. It's actually quite sad and tragic.
Yeah.
But there's also a website that I'm going to include.
Continue.
That I'm going to include that supposedly has reports 30 cops revealed the hilarious excuses criminals gave them that turned out to be true, and that is from Thought Catalog. You can go and check those out yourself. Some of them were pretty interesting. Some of them can give you sort of a insight into some cops, not all cops, but several.
Yeah.
It's an us and them. Unless you're one of them, you're one of the us. Yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I have watched many of a horror movie, and I have never decided, I'm going to go out and kill somebody because I watched one in specific.
Well, you know, if you've got somebody that, and they had talked about this kid's mother's boyfriend, and it's like, how many in a row had there been? So apparently
She fucked him up.
This kid did not have some kind of stable home environment. I'd say that I would hazard a guess on that. And for the boyfriend to sit there and go, oh, he's not one that would be invited to the cool parties. Well, now, who is he that he would know what cool is?
Right. That's kind of...
Where was he for this kid?
Mm-hmm. Where are they paying attention to him?
Well, they wouldn't pay no attention to him. That's why he's not
point.
that fucked up.
That's my point.
I get it. But it's just... Anyhow, into Bigfoots. At least he didn't blame the Bigfoots. He blamed... his inspiration. He supposedly took his inspiration from a spooky movie. Actually, seems like that movie was based on something that really happened. I think I had seen that somewhere in my internet journeys.
Maybe.
You
got freaked out by a Bigfoot trailer when you were a kid.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't. It was the Legend of Boggy Creek, I think was the name of it, and it was horrifying. I watched the movie. I've watched it since. It's still horrifying when you're in a cabin surrounded by something, and there's this very large ape-like thing that sticks an arm through the window of the cabin. I'd say that would frighten just about anybody.
I go to the cabin that's in the middle of the woods. There by myself.
Yeah.
Nothing's come through the windows just yet.
But when and if it does, your ass will be changed forever. Forever.
You want to bet?
And you will just be one of those, I was a skeptic. I'm no longer a skeptic. I'm a believer. You will be one of these that's on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie talking about the Bigfoot encounter.
Oh, I hope. I hope I am. I really do. I hope I am.
So, anyhow, don't be a stupid. Do not be. We've got our quota in the world.
Do not be a youngest kid.
No, I'm not saying that in the least. But as far as
I am.
Some of the excuses, and it's always interesting, some of the excuses people will come up with for why they did what they did. And it's not just those that got caught. But the Bigfoot one, I like the Bigfoot one.
I like
he summoned Bigfoot on me. If you were going to summon something, wouldn't it be a little more than Bigfoot?
Like a demon or something like that. Like Serpendios, the high demon himself. My God.
I don't know. Maybe they think that Bigfoot has, supernatural powers. Maybe he does. Maybe they knew things about Bigfoot that we don't.
Maybe they're full of shit.
Oh my God. Anyhow, if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, God, I hope you haven't had experience with the stupids, but everybody has. If you have local, regional, or family myths or legends, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And the email address, email address will also be in the description box. Know that you're loved. I believe that the Bigfoot is Gigantopithecus. I know that we have people that view and they're like, it can't be Gigantopithecus.
I mean, I believe it's a giant ape too. I think it's some form of ape.
There are people that think it's an interdimensional being, for real.
I don't think so.
There are those that think that it's part of a species of aliens or extraterrestrials.
That's why I'm not that scared of it, because it has to be some sort of ape.
Have you seen the damage that a gorilla can do? It will rip your face off. There's a chimpanzee has ripped people's faces off.
Yeah, that's why you stay in the fucking house.
The teeth on those silverback gorillas and stuff are... it's frightening. I think that those things are probably more frightening than a lion.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know, there's just something about them. I would rather take my chances with a lion.
You don't have to have a phobia then, but a healthy fear, yeah, like caution. Take caution.
Yeah, like stay the hell away from them, watch them on TV. Wild Kingdom.
Or like go to the zoo, watch them behind...
Marlon Perkins.
Watch them behind glass or the fencing, like, yeah.
That's TV. That's as close as I want to get to some of these great apes.
Oh no, I want to see
Jane Goodall. She did her time out there in the jungles, and of course she was kind of odd herself. But
I want to go to the zoo and see one.
Yeah, well, and he's talking about as far as the habitats. He's not talking about the old traditional zoos. He's like the
actual habitats. No, don't. Those zoos. Most zoos do not take care of their animals.
Well, they used to not. I think that a lot of people are changing that.
Well, yeah, people have got on their asses.
Well, yeah.
And rightfully so.
Sure. But the new habitat things, like that one, was it in New York that you had been watching the show on that? It's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But the Bigfoots, don't be summoning the Bigfoots on nobody's ass. Don't be stalking people. Don't get into the necrophilias. That's bad.
Says the one who's got a collection of songs.
It just fascinates me. I've never done it.
You cosplayed as a necrophilia victim.
I did. That was because it was in psychology. The psychology Halloween party.
You dress up as your favorite. Favorite psycho.
It is a very
illness.
Interesting something to study. But people that are fans of vampires and stuff like that, that's exactly what that is. It's except that the corpse is animated. So it's not rare. They just don't want to think about it that way.
Can I repeat what the doctor said?
About what?
About the vampires?
I don't know.
I can't remember the exact thing that he said, but I think it must have been like the hokey pokey or something like. Not the hokey pokey. It definitely was not that. But like doing the hokey pokey would be like riding a popsicle.
Possibly. Possibly. You know. But anyhow. It's just one of those things. I have a collection of songs because over the years it's not that unusual of, I don't want to say a fascination, it's a curiosity. It's like anything else.
Mine's grave robbing. Is there a mental illness for grave robbing?
No. No, there's really not. If you look on Indeed, you might find a job description. Anyhow, know that you're loved.
I think that's called archaeology.
Know that you're loved. And it's like, hopefully we'll rest up in a day or so. No, this is it. This is how we are all the time. Do your spiel, kid.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. I have a rock. It has a stone in it. I'm going to get that stone in it.
Rocks within rocks. Plans within plans. Schemes within schemes.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see on the next.
It's a $2 rock that you can like get at Walmart, and you just pick at it.
I don't think the Hope Diamond is going to be in there.
Well,
anyhow,
of course not.
We will see you on the next cup. Bye. Bye.